This was made using MV Play's insights. What they have done for England and New Zealand test players, they can do for club cricket as well. Do you remember the Ian Bell run out?
I think I might.
Ian Bell and Owen Morgan are running. I think they've run 3, and Dhoni throws him the ball, and he takes off the bails. England fans cannot believe he's been given out. The
Spirit of cricket is being thrown left, right and centre.
Spirit of cricket is absolutely everywhere. I should say, I do know England cricket people who were in the team at that time in the change room, and even they thought it should have been out. Behram, we have another stupid cricket, but a lot of these I've plucked from random years, and you know, in some cases I don't even tell you what the year is until half the way through to trick you a little bit. This one, you will be aware of this, I'm pretty sure, but I'm just going to say to you, do you remember the Ian Bell run out?
I think I might. Was this the one with Dhoni?
Yes.
Yes, I do remember the Ian Bell run.
Great. Well, this is good because it sounds like you remember it and not remember it.
Yes, I'm halfway there.
So, you know, a lot of these things are so old, but this one is obviously a lot more new. So let me sow the seeds. Sow the seeds? Let me set the scene, sow the seeds, do all the different things that I need to do for stupid cricket here.
Marinate the chicken.
I'm going to marinate some chicken. Owen Morgan is facing India at Trent Bridge. Last ball before tea, gets a ball on his pads, I think it was Ishant Sharma bowling, turns the ball to square leg, and it goes out towards the boundary. And a fine leg is Praveen Kumar. And he runs around, and you know, Praveen Kumar, incredible skillful bowler, not really a natural athlete, I think, as a mover in the field. He comes around quite slowly to get to it, gets to the ball, and do you remember before people knew how to dive?
Yeah.
It was one of those kind of dives, where he kind of dives past it, and he tries to flick it back, and it hits his leg, right? And he goes tumbling over the rope, the ball's inside, and he sort of gets up and he thinks to himself, I think that's hit the rope. Like, because I know it hit my leg, so it probably hit the rope. He gets up slowly, looks around, and he walks across the boundary, picks it up, throws it back in. MS Dhoni takes the ball from the throw. Okay. I'm going to stop there. Any of that sound familiar?
Yeah. I mean, I do not remember the Praveen stuff as vividly, but as you were describing it, I can completely picture him because he was just that kind of cricketer.
He was that kind of guy. It was so, what I loved about it was, once he decided it was 4, it was so lackadaisical, like, okay, I suppose I have to pick the ball back up and come back in. So, Ian Bell and Owen Morgan are running. I think they've run 3. So Ian Bell was at the non-strikers end around this time. He looks up, sees Praveen Kumar sort of casually coming back in, and he's like, great, well, that's T. That ball's gone for 4. So he runs off the field. Owen Morgan goes as well. They leave. At that stage, everyone just thinks it's a normal tea break, end of the over, dead ball, all that sort of situation. The ball comes into Dhoni. Weirdly enough, Dhoni is not standing over the stumps. Now, I don't know if this is because it's a bad throw or because, again, Dhoni thought it had gone for 4. But he takes the ball about halfway between the stumps and square leg. But he takes the ball, Behram, and then he turns around, and Abhinav Mukund, who's I think was the short leg, he comes into the stumps. And Dhoni throws him the ball, and he takes off the bails. And then there's like a short moment where no one's quite sure what's happened. Now remember, Bell and Morgan are basically off the field at this point. And then the umpires are like, well, we don't know if it's a 4. And Praveen Kumar doesn't seem to know if it's a 4.
And clearly technology wasn't an option.
No. So what they do is they go back to the footage and they have a look. Well, they didn't need DRS. You're right there. They didn't need the normal one. But they go back to the footage and they have a look. And what Praveen Kumar has done is he's pulled the ball back. It's hit his leg. And you would think that it would have then gone into the rope. But it actually just hits his leg and drops about 2 feet, 1.5 feet inside the rope. And so they have a look at it. They don't need to worry about Ian Bell being run out because Ian Bell is currently still 60 metres out of his ground. So Ian Bell thinks to himself, he's looked at Praveen Kumar's body language.
Yeah.
And then he saw the umpire take the jumper from out the back of his thing and was getting ready to hand it to the bowler. And so he runs off. The thing is that the umpires didn't call over. They didn't call T. And one of the reasons is they weren't sure what had happened with Praveen Kumar, right? But of course, once you have a look at the replay, all you have is India appealing and one batter 70 metres out of his crease, right? So, do you remember what happened next?
Not like in the micro universe of events that were unfolding at that time.
So he's given out. That bit you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. And the whole cricket world basically breaks down. England fans cannot believe he's been given out. The fact
Spirit of cricket is being thrown left, right, and centre.
spirit of cricket is absolutely everywhere. I should say, I do know England cricket people who were in the team at that time in the change room, and even they thought it should have been out. But there were some people who thought that, it was a bit silly. But I don't understand why Ian Bell is allowed to make that kind of mistake and we can bring him back. But any other kind of mistake that he makes, we're just like, no. I didn't mean to hit it to cover. I didn't mean to get caught. So I've never understood that sort of stuff. If you're here, there's cricket in your veins. So you need a hit daily. But sometimes there's no match to watch. Enter Hit Wicket, a strategic cricket game for those moments of rare lull. It's not about frantic tapping, but it's about understanding cricket's nuances. Dot ball pressure, getting your eye in, all these things. This is real cricket with some gaming twists. In Hit Wicket, you're the batter, bowler, owner, coach, and captain. That's the dream. And there's no ads, just cricket. Download Hit Wicket for free on mobile and unleash your inner cricket legend. But the thing is that Ian Bell at this stage is out, and all the players then go off the field. Bell cannot believe it. They leave the field. If this was the end of the over, I would assume that Ian Bell would have remained out. But that's not what happens.
Yeah.
You know a little bit about what happens next. Tell me what the story that you remember.
I do remember Dhoni calling Bell back and basically taking back the decision.
So that doesn't happen straight away. So in Trent Bridge, they have these really small alleyways in the back of the change room. It's where Jadeja and Anderson had their tete-a-tete. It's small, right? Okay. And also, the two change rooms are right on top of each other. It's not one of these grounds where they're massively separated from each other. And so, from my memory, I think it was Strauss and I think Flower might have still been the coach.
I think so, yeah.
They go down into the Indian change room and plead for Ian Bell to be given not out, which I just find absolutely incredible. Like, he was the one who made the mistake. No one in India made any errors at all, and yet they plead for this to be given not out. And at first, I think Dhoni's a little bit like, what? Yeah. Because remember, Dhoni's the one who took the ball, right? He was the one who tossed it to Abhinav Bakun to go, wait a minute, he's out of his crease here, and if that's not 4, then he's been run out. How do you feel about a team going in and asking for a batter to be reinstated in this sort of situation?
I think that is flat out ridiculous. It's very similar to that other instance that happened between Pakistan and Australia, where I think Azhar Ali or Asad Shafiq thought it was 4, and then they were just talking to each other, and then one of them got run out, and that's run out in every single universe. That has nothing to do with the spirit of cricket, even in anyone's definition, right? Because I know it's all mangled, and different people have their own version of the spirit of cricket or whatever. Because the law suggests one thing, but a lot of people coming from different cultures feel about certain things, like the Mankad, for instance, differently. But this is just a straight up run out. You left the crease. Exactly. Because you didn't wait for the umpire to signal something, right? Like, am I misreading this? That's it. It's as simple as anything. There's a really interesting one where Rahul Dravid gives a press conference afterwards and he's sort of saying, well, it was technically out, but we didn't feel that good about it. And I was like, well, think about this. Praveen Kumar has almost nothing to do with this run out. Yeah. Because he throws it in. But it goes to the captain. Yep. Who then could have just kept the ball in his hands and done nothing. Who turns around and gives it to another player who then takes the bails off. They then appeal. And then they then allow the appeal to... It's so weird to me. How much was Bell on? Do you remember that? I don't remember. I do remember this costing India the test match in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, so India had a lead in that test match on first innings of about 70. And at this stage, Bell had already made 100. The pitch had flattened out. And to be honest, England were on top. But at that stage, they weren't like 300 or 400 in front. They still had to build the big lead to be able to get. And the guy who was set was the one who'd been run out. Exactly. So from every perspective, you'd want to run Bell out, right? Yeah. Like, that's what any team should do in that particular scenario. And I just don't understand, or can't even fathom, what would the conversation have been like when Flower and Strauss went down? Like, please, can you take it back? We don't have any defense, but please. He made a mistake, and we would like you not to punish him for that mistake. But I find it really weird because it's one of those situations in cricket that because of the tea break, we think about it differently. And if you go back to the Johnny Bairstow stumping, it's a bit the same. People are like, well, it was at the end of the over, and it's one of those things that you go, it doesn't matter. Wait for tea to be called. Right? Basically. There's no reason for Ian Bell to run off the field at that point, right? Yeah. Also, how fit is Ian Bell? He was already 100. Who runs off the field? Mate, take a break. Also, anyone who watches Test cricket knows that at the end of every session, the bails are dislodged. You wait for that to happen before walking off. Even if this was like a regular single, he should not have done that.
Yep. In any stage. So
Yeah.
I find it really remarkable. I then find it really remarkable that Dhoni relents. Because, as I said before, he's a major part in this. So I'm just going to put it out there. Would you say this, Behram, is stupid cricket?
I think this is ridiculous cricket. Stupid is not that strong a word for this particular instance.
We have our first ever ridiculous cricket on
Yes, we do.
stupid cricket.
Cricket Bizarro.